Everything. The at bat, we have guy on the ropes every inning and can't cash in but a couple of runs. It's just a bad game.
Was that a message that was relayed to the team?
I'm not going to talk about what I say to anybody.
Oh, what do you know? Evan Webeck asked a question. In the season presser with Farhan Zaidi, guy didn't ask one question, 45 minutes. Beat writer for the Mercury News didn't ask one question when the GM is signing off. You think Anthony Slater will sit through a press conference and not ask one question to Bob Myers or Mike Dunleavy Jr.? Think Kendra Andrews is doing that? You think Kareth Burke is doing that? Think Zena Cater, Marcus Thompson, Tim Kawakami's doing that? That's the problem I have with the way the Giants are covered. We treat them with kid gloves, and we're not allowed to be mad. Well, you know what, to everybody out there, I'm going to stay mad about this team until they do something about it. They've done nothing about it.
Did anyone just ask directly, what the hell is going on at shortstop this year? Are you frustrated with the defense? No, shortstop. We're talking about shortstop, right? You saw this coming a mile away. Brandon Crawford was old when you got here, and you've been touting this prospect, and he's not ready to play shortstop, and you have no alternative options, and you're basically relying on the savior, Nick Ahmed, who was designated for assignment in September last year. No one wanted him, and you didn't even give him a major league contract. You gave him a minor league contract. And shortstop, how many games has shortstop cost them this year?
Oh, my gosh.
Defensively. And Brett Wisely was good for a week and a half.
A week and a half.
No, he was. And Nick Ahmed defensively was all right.
It's a 6-month season, and we're applauding dudes for being good for 2 weeks. That's how far down we've fallen with the Giants. Think about that. Wisely was good for a week and a half, and we rolled with that. And I'm not trying to rip Wisely.
Well, he's batting pretty well right now. I mean,
Matos is down, batting ninth again, and I was high on Matos for a couple of weeks.
He had a hit.
And then the league adjusted, and he hasn't adjusted back.
Yeah, he got a hit, though, last night. But it was a good pinch hit. To have Yaz pinch hit was the right move.
Bounced at home plate. It was a high chopper on home plate. Come on, let's be real.
I know.
Even Kruko say, well, sometimes you just got to get them how they come.
That's
what we're celebrating here.
I know.
That's what we're celebrating here.
I know.
And Brock Purdy leads a comeback to the Green Bay Packers, and it ain't good enough for Niner fans in the playoffs. Yeah, we're giving credit. Luis Matos, he had a hit yesterday, even though it chopped off a home. It bounced off a home plate and went 50 feet in the air. It was a 2-foot hit. But let's give him credit. But with the Niners and the Warriors, we get irate. It's not good enough. It's not good enough, so I'm tired of giving this team a pass. State media, we're not that when it comes to the Giants. I'm not doing that. Please, for the love of God, do not bring up 2014 and those championships ever again. And another thing, listen to Bob Melvin. I just thought about it. You think Bob Melvin's sitting there last night as he's going crazy saying that's just a bad loss? And Flippy's talking about how edgy he's been this season, and you can see in the dugout, he's always red.
I know.
He's like, his jaws are always shaking in the first inning. I'm like, damn, you're stressed out because he knows what he's working with. You think that guy's having regrets saying, I just should have worked it out with A.J. Preller, stayed in San Diego.
No, I think he's learned from what happened in San Diego, and he's saying, if one of us is going down, I'm not going down this time.
Right. Well,
you think I'm joking? You think I'm joking?
I actually like that thought a lot, to be honest.
What? No, I think it's real. Again, just think about this. You lost the war in San Diego, and you had a batting lineup of, at the time, Juan Soto, Machado, Tatis, and Bogarts, and you couldn't make it work.
Couldn't make it work.
And then you come up here, and you're like, oh, my God. I mean, I gotta really move guys around every single inning. Every inning. Forget every game.
He went from managing Xander Bogaerts, Juan Soto, Tatis Jr., and Machado, and he's got to pencil in Wilmer Flores at the third spot against the New York Yankees. Think about that. You don't think Bo Mel's sitting there like, damn,
but
I thought I had it good.
Wasn't it refreshing to have a manager just come out and be angry and flip the spread a little?
I do love that.
I mean, metaphorically flip the spread?
We're not allowed to do that, Shasky. Let's see how people react to Bo Mel. I saw a lot of people saying, oh, Bo Mel's hot. Yay, Bo Mel.
Yeah, I am.
But we get mad as fans, and it's a problem.
Yeah, but sports radio wasn't built on a Monday Night Football game reaction. You know what it was built on? The mundane July and June baseball game with Mad Dog and Mike Francesa bitching and complaining about Alfonso Soriano kicking a ball.
Dude, I sent you
about Charlie Hayes at third.
I'm on the European extravaganza, chilling. I'm on YouTube, and I find this YouTube video, and it's Mike and the Mad Dog interviewing George Steinbrenner in 90 for an hour. And there was no, hey, how's it going? How's the wife? How's the kids? What's it been like this season? No. That got right to it. And for an hour, grilled George Steinbrenner. And to Steinbrenner's credit, he sat there and took it. And he respected him even more. He's like, okay, these guys care. These guys care. But when we do it and we go off the handle, sometimes we do fly off the handle. But of
course I do.
Because the way the Warriors and Niners are covered is so much different than the Giants, and I'm tired of it. These guys have actually tried to win championships, have been knocking on the door of championships. Joe Lacob, he bought the team for what, $450 million? What was it, $450 million, something like that? He spent more money in luxury tax than it has to buy the team.
I know.
Jed York, who we crushed for many, many years.
Yeah.
How much guaranteed money has he given players over the last 5 years?
How do you feel about Jed after signing Christian McCaffrey without any problems?
No problems whatsoever.
I mean,
no drama.
I feel pretty good.
I feel pretty damn good about where the Niners are at.
Year 8 with Lynch and Shanahan? They feel
it's about to be year 8.
Okay, they feel pretty harmonious as a relationship, which is a far cry from a decade ago.
Year 8 of the Lynch-Shanahan era, and we're in year 6 of the Farhan era, and this is what we're working with right now. And we're supposed to be happy and say, well, if they win 5 games, well, who's the 5 games? Hey, no, Willard was taking shots at you and saying, and I like Mark Willard. It's nothing personal. But when I heard it, I say, what the hell is this?
Well, people can disagree.
No. I get it. People could disagree. But it's like, oh, you guys will be back on the train when they win 7 in a row. Well, who's the 7 against? Is it against the Rockies again?
Oops.
Is it against the Oakland A's? Actually, they're playing pretty good baseball.
But here's my
you know what I'm saying?
But here's my point, though, like on like the whole Farhan offseason, like because people are like, well, you're not allowed to get mad. It's like, hey, look, okay, if your child, right, if your child or whoever, if you're a teacher, because I know Mark teaches, and I would say this to him, and I'd call him up and tell him, but like, hey, you're teaching a class and somebody aces a test, but the body of work of the semester is all subpar. Does that mean they ace the class? No. That's just one test of many, and I'm sure there's homeworks and essays and midterms and finals and all these things. Just because you ace one off season doesn't mean the body of work of 6 or 7 years can't be criticized.
And here's the thing.
The golden era of everyone in the Bay Area with sports radio was what? It was when Ralph Barbieri and Brian Sabian used to go at it, right? Was it not? I look up to Ralph Barbieri. He's one of my favorite radio. I mean, him and Radnich. So that to me, the gold standard. They went about it in a completely different way. You could either one of them.
I love Radnich with the way he did it.
Yeah, and I loved Ralph Barbieri.
And I love Ralph too.
And the way Ralph would go at Brian Sabian over nothing in June.
But listen, not only that, you say that Farhan aced the test, and if I push back on that. Did everybody want Chapman? At first, I didn't want Chapman. Remember, I didn't want Chapman at first.
I like Chapman.
I've warmed up to Chapman, and I really like the way he's playing. I really respect the young man. That guy is playing his ass off. That's all I ask for. As a fan, I just want to see my players play hard, give maximum effort, and make some plays. He's done that. And he pressed early on.
Sure.
He turned it on, and he cares. That guy truly cares. But when it goes to Farhan's offseason, and when you say he aced the offseason, did he really ace the offseason?
That's what I felt. No, I will say, I felt, because you know why? You got an elite lefty, which I thought there was zero downside on, and I'll defend it to this. Even though it's been a horrific signing, like, I wanted Blake Snell. I did. I wanted him. I'm like, oh, he's sitting there. There's no downside. Boy, could I not be more wrong. It's been horrific.
Jordan Hicks has worked out.
Jordan Hicks has been a great acquisition.
I do get concerned about him moving forward, though. He's never been in this role before.
Now, Jung-Hoo Lee, I feel bad that he got hurt. I like him. I probably like him more than others. And that's fine. We could disagree. We could talk about what does he do better than Luis Matos. Well, I think he has better bat-to-ball skills currently. I think he's got a little more speed. He just didn't really showcase it. He was in his first month in the bigs. He got hurt. That sucks. But today it looks like a bad signing.
Well, I'm looking at Jung-Hoo Lee right now because when they signed him, I was like,
I think he's got a great arm.
Yeah, all right. So he tore his labrum in his left shoulder. He's had shoulder surgery in the other one. He had a fractured ankle last season before coming to the major leagues. He batted .262. 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, got caught stealing 3 times.
But on this team, 262 is like, we could use that.
I mean, but that's why I need to change this. We need to change this.
Right.
The bar shouldn't be, hey, 262 on the Giants is really, really good. Is 262 on the Yankees good? Is 262 on the Dodgers? The Dodgers have a great offense. I just saw an article the other day or this morning. Dodgers, their offense is scuffling. Oh, my gosh, they got shut out in Pittsburgh 1-0, and people are flying off the handle in L.A. land saying, where's our offense at? You guys are fine. You guys are first place in the division by 7 games. But that's the bar. We have to reset the bar here in San Francisco. Enough of mediocrity. Enough of accepting. His on-base percentage, Jung-Hoo Lee, was .310. His OPS was .641. All right? He's okay. But we didn't see enough to say, oh, boy, this guy's a superstar. He's going to carry the torch.
But again,
and here's the problem.
And here's the problem, Shasky.
And here's the problem. They gave him $113 million. When you give a player, you want to know what Ozzie Albies' contract is?
I
Want
think
to go
it's
see his contract?
$70 million.
Yeah. You see what he's doing?
Well, Ozzy Albies is a really good player. They had him in the system. They've developed him, and he's an excellent player.
You see those contracts? All right. So when I see these contracts and I see $113 million, I'm sorry, I expect a little more.
Well, they had to overpay and go a little Buck Louie in the offseason because they don't have anything in the farm. And so just because I'm excited by the acquisitions in the offseason doesn't mean that the body of work, which was the farm that I've been hearing about, has been lackluster.
Well,
and even then, look, I'm excited about Elliot Ramos. Right. I don't even know if he's a starter, and I'm excited. And I want to see him play.
What does Flem say? 35% strikeout rate.
It's not good.
Oh boy!
But he's got a hit in every game basically.
Yeah, he does.
25 games played, 25 hits. I feel like he's been clutch in terms of when he's getting those hits. It's not like, hey, 7-1 game, let me get a single. I feel like he's been really good this year. Ramos, like on my list of issues, Ramos is like way down.
But
I love Ramos.
Even going back to Jung-Hoo Lee, and I know fans were excited about Jung-Hoo Lee, but I watched a few games. So I watched every game with Jung-Hoo Lee. How many times did he run into a center field wall? Misplaying the ball.
I also watched Yaz almost run into a center field wall the other day.
I get that.
That happened just the other day.
But we don't think Yaz is Jung-Hoo Lee.
No doubt.
Yaz is not making $113 million.
No, he's making
Yaz is making $75 million, $8 million. All right? Jung-Hoo Lee ran into like 5 walls this year. And I'm thinking, do they take infield? Do they take BP? Do they shag balls in the outfield before the game? What the hell is going on here? $113 million. And now we're blaming chain link fences. Again, nothing but excuses coming for the Giants. Well, the chain link fence is hurt. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. All right, I get it. So that's Jung-Hoo Lee. So as we go down the offseason, Tom Murphy, $8 million. How's he doing?
Well, I can't defend that.
All right? You want to go back to our last offseason? You want to go back to the player option, convertible sign? So, and my rant about the Giants, and I want to move back to the Niners for a second. We could do the Giants. I don't even really care where the show goes for the next 15 minutes. I really don't, because I'm so fed up by being served this soft-serve ice cream and propaganda, and some people just eating it up. I'm not doing that with the Giants no more. I'm going to keep the same energy that I do with the Warriors and the Niners on the Giants, and that should be a bare minimum. If we say we can't yell out here as fans and say, we're a big boy market. We're the West Coast of New York. We're up there with Chicago, Philadelphia, L.A., and then accept a Moneyball type of team in the San Francisco Giants, yet they spend $202 million, and they're tied with the Nationals right now, and they're not even trying to win, Shasky. You couldn't even name 5 Washington Nationals. We can barely name 5 Pittsburgh Pirates.
The only one I can name is the shortstop who was traded from San Diego.
Abrams.
Yes.
And I know they got a dude named James Wood in the minor league system.
Yeah. I also have a sickness, and Dylan Cruz, who's not yet on their big league roster.
So when I hear people say, well, we got to offer Juan Soto this and that. Who are you kidding? Why even go down that road? Stop accepting soft-serve media ice cream where it comes to, Farhan, it's not his fault. The players got to perform. Why y'all mad at Farhan? He constructed his whole roster. This is his entire farm system. He does everything. He answers to himself. And this is what we have right now. Who's the next prospect coming up? A guy in single A, Bryce Eldridge? I
do like him.
He's in single.
Oh,
Shasky.
my God, I sound
Shasky, think about that,
I'm
though.
doing it to myself
No.
again.
But hold on. It's not that. That's not the point I'm trying to make. He's in single A.
I know.
Who's the next guy in triple A? Who's the next guy in double
Grant
A?
McCrary and Hunter Bishop. I mean, I'm reaching here. I'm legitimately.
And I got told over and over, Luciano and Kyle Harrison should be untouchable. And I like Kyle Harrison. I think he's solid. He shouldn't be a 2-starter right now. He's not. But he's got to step his game up because Snell is hurt. Keaton Wynn is hurt. Beck was hurt. But Marco Luciano comes up. I'm like, this is the prospect that people didn't want to trade?
It's a lot of pressure for the 2 guys to save the guy's job. I mean, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. It's crazy. And it's just, I don't know what you do. Because, like, if you asked me a year ago, I was like, they're untouchable. I got to see them. I want to see them. And now that I've seen them, I'm like, maybe they shouldn't have been untouchable. Maybe I was just so deprived and starving for our own homegrown player. It's just, I was hoping that we'd have a wave of guys that would show some impact. And again, Ramos has shown that. But I don't know if it's enough.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a 35% strikeout right.
I don't know if it's enough.
Damn. It surprised me when Contos came on here and said Casey Smith swing it outside the zone. He's going to watch what happens. And we've seen what Casey Smith has done. The guy's a 4A player right now. He's a 4A player.
Well, and if you're going to hang your hat on defense, you can't have multiple gaffes in the same inning, and you just can't. I mean, you can't do that.
We're giving Farhan Zaidi credit for taking scraps in free agency. All right, that's what it is. And when we talk about prospects, the Niners, what did they do? Multiple times, and sometimes you whiff. They traded picks for Trey Lance. It did not work out whatsoever. No. It may be the worst draft day trade in NFL history.
Yeah,
it may
but
go
they
down like
pivoted
that.
and they found someone else.
They got it. But up to that point, they're struggling mid-season, and they don't have a running back because Elijah Mitchell's hurt, and Jeff Wilson Jr. is not running the ball the way he should be running the ball, and they pivot, and they trade multiple picks for Christian McCaffrey. And we can't even name who the players are for Carolina, that the picks they made, the draft selections they made.